in English. Today's editorial is all about related to the film industry, a particular problem, casting couch. It's all about that. Let us start the session with the question, what is enrichment? As usual, you improve your comprehension skill. Not very important, but it is important because it goes with socio-cultural problems. You improve your vocabulary. Today's editorial, it is more based on vocab. So many important words are there. Grammar consolidation, effective English, mini mocks, vocab consolidation. All these we are going to work on. Let us start with the very first word. What is the first word? Catalyst. Catalyst we have got many a time. Actually, it goes with chemistry. It also goes with biochemistry. Part of speech noun. What does it mean? A person or thing that precipitates an event or change. You can also take it this way. A person or something, a thing or a person that causes change, brings about change, we use the word catalyst. The new policy acted as a catalyst for social reform. A particular new policy acted as a catalyst for the reform, means brought about the required change. Synonyms, stimulus, spark, impetus, trigger. You have to remember, I use this every day. Spark, impetus, an important word. Trigger, simple word. Hindrance, deterrent, obstacle, impediment, hurdle, all words you have to know for sure. We have got many a time. Vortex. Vortex, part of speech noun, it means a mass of whirling fluid or air, especially a whirlpool or whirlwind. You all know whirlpool, whirlwind. Imagine something goes like this, round and round. We use the word whirlpool if it is water. We use the word whirlwind if it is air. And in the US, quite often they experience what is known as tornado. It is also known as a twister. What exactly happens here? The wind goes up, and when it goes up, strong wind, not on a large scale, it lifts vehicles, houses, rooftops, sometimes animals also if the force is very strong. And here it talks about that particular field. Look at the example. The boat was sucked into the vortex of the whirlpool. Imagine there's a whirlpool, the boat goes near that, it is sucked into it. That's what it means. Whirlpool, maelstrom, eddy, whirlwind. These two are easy words. You have to focus on these two words. Very important. Antonyms, calm, stillness, stability. Simple words. Redact, we have got for the first time, I think in the recent past, an important word. It is a verb. Edited or revised, especially to obscure or remove sensitive information. Imagine this sensitive information. The government does not want the sensitive information to go out. They try to redact. Either they edit or they remove some information from the text. Look at this. The classified document was heavily redacted before being released to the public. Before releasing to the public, they edited the information because it is classified information. There's one important word here, classified document. Classified has two meanings. One meaning, it goes with advertisements in the newspaper. But in this context, classified means confidential. Classified information means what? Confidential information that should not go out. It is with the government. Synonyms, censored, edited, revised. This is an important word, though we have got a few times. Expurgate. That also goes with editing, either edit or remove completely. Released, uncensored, unedited. Opposite words are always easy. Casting couch. Today's editorial is all about casting couch. What does it mean? Here, part of speech, noun, but something important from the exam point of view. Usually, a noun is only one word, but sometimes a noun may have two or three words. A noun with two or three words, like this one, known as compound noun. And compound nouns are important from the exam point of view because usually we change a singular noun to a plural noun by adding s or es at the end. Student, students, boy, boys, girl, girls. Using the same logic, many common error a lot of people add when it comes to a compound noun at the end s or es. That is not correct. For example, mother-in-law. A lot of people say mother in laws. That is wrong. What is the key word in this mother? To that, you should add s or es. So, what is the plural of mother in law? Mothers in law. Three examples you have to remember from the exam point of view. One is mothers in law, plural form of mother in law. Second, commander in chief, singular. Commanders in chief, plural. And third one, man of letters, and plural, men of letters. Man of letters means a person with a lot of knowledge, an intellectual, a genius, a polymath, a highbrow, a walking encyclopedia. All these words you have to know. The demand of sexual, what does it mean, casting couch? The demand of sexual favors by someone in a position of power in exchange for career advancement. Rarely this goes with workplace, but usually it goes with the entertainment industry. Here, especially in the entertainment industry. Entertainment industry, it is quite common, and not only in this part of the world. It started from with the Hollywood industry. Example: the casting couch is a dark reality of the film industry that many are trying to expose. One important expression: dark reality. It's a fact, but not something good, it is something bad, based on the dark reality of the film industry that many are trying to expose. Synonyms: sexual coercion. Coerce means to use force. Exploitation, quid pro quo. This is an important expression you have to know. Merit based advancement, ethical treatment, meritocracy, you can think of these words. Hatch, I'm sure you all know it, goes with eggs. After the incubation period, the eggs hatch. But here, hatch has a different meaning altogether. The part of speech is a verb, it's a regular verb. To create or devise a plan, here you got to be careful. VISE is the verb form, VICE is the noun form. As a noun, you have to think of words like device, noun. You have to think of words like gadget and also appliance. Gadgets, appliances, devices, electronic device, a typical combination, but here it is a verb. To create or devise a plan, typically one that is secret or devious. Usually it has a negative connotation, usually, but example is not negative. Look at the example. They hatched a plan to surprise their friend on her birthday. Hatch a plan, think of a plan. Yes, Manasa, you're right. Synonyms: conceive, devise, plot, plan. Neglect, ignore, overlook. Simple words again. Repugnant, we have got a few times. Something you find disgusting, not at all acceptable, terrible. We use the word repugnant or disgusting. Part of speech adjective: extremely distasteful, unacceptable, or offensive. You don't feel like looking at that, you don't feel like doing that, then you say repugnant behavior or repugnant disgusting place or food, anything. Look at the example. His repugnant behavior made everyone uncomfortable, means a disgusting behavior. Synonyms: disgusting, aberrant, an important word, vile, an important word. These two are easy. When you try to learn words, do remember some words are easy, some words are difficult. Always try to focus on difficult words. And after the session, you got to spend some time and use your own examples, use mnemonics or memory techniques. Otherwise, after 2 or 3 days, all these disappear. It's sheer waste of time watching. Antonyms: pleasant, acceptable, delightful, agreeable. Conflate, an important word we have got for the first time. It means you club two different things, then the distinction between the two lost. That results in confusion. Part of speech verb to combine or mix two or more things, often resulting in confusion or a loss of distinction. Either confusion or loss of distinction. Look at the example. The report conflates the issues of poverty and education. Poverty is different, education is different. You try to club or merge these two. Obviously, that results in confusion or a chaotic situation. Synonyms merge, blend, mix, confuse. Antonyms separate, distinguish, differentiate. Behave is an important word. Behave means amalgamate. Yes, very good. Who is this? Sai. I appreciate that. And amalgamation, mixing or clubbing or blending. Behave is an important word, part of speech verb, meaning it is a duty or responsibility for someone to do something. It is appropriate or necessary. In a nutshell, you can think of the word obligation. Obligation is something like it is your duty or you have promised to do something. It is an obligation. In a way, it is an obligation. Look at the example. It behoves us all to be vigilant, alert, and report any suspicious activity. Whenever you see a suspicious activity, we should always remain vigilant, and any suspicious activity we have to report. So it behoves us, means there's an obligation on us to report any suspicious activity. Be incumbent upon, be necessary for, be expected of, disregard, neglect, ignore. Simple words. That's all about the words or vocabulary from the editorial, very important from bank exams, SSC, civil's point of view. Without vocab, there is nothing. You cannot express your ideas, and many exam topics depend on vocabulary. But before I go to the analysis of today's editorial, let us ask a pertinent question, a relevant question. What is this about? What is this editorial about? The editorial discusses a HEMA committee report which was established to investigate the issues faced by women in the Malayalam film industry. At the outset, I said it goes with the film industry. To be very specific, it goes with Malayalam film industry. Based on a report, this has been written, and the editor takes a stand and says this report can be a catalyst to bring about the expected changes or positive things. What is the tone? Because it talks about casting couch, it has to be critical and it has to be, another word, advocative. Means supporting the rights of women, privacy of women, and gender equality. Based on those ideas, advocative. Here it is a positive word. What is a stimulus? Some students ask, so what is the meaning of the word stimulus? Stimulus is something that makes you react. When you see something, you react. Whatever you see, that is known as a stimulus. And based on the stimulus, whatever you do, that is known as reaction. So all the newspapers, all the editorials are written based on a particular event, a particular policy, a particular statement, any of these that acts as a stimulus. And the newspaper takes that, an important article, important issue, they write in the editorials. Catalyst for change. This is what it is based on the HEMA committee report and Malayalam film industry. But what is the catalyst here? The catalyst is HEMA committee report. And what is the main idea? The HEMA committee report should. This is a subject. Should has two functions. One, it is used to advise or suggest. Second, it is used to express a possibility, but the chances are less. Here, advice or suggestion from the editorial. The HEMA committee report should help reform the film industry. It should help. Another important word you have to focus on, help. You may ask, so why is it important? It is important because there are causative verbs. We have different types of verbs. One, causative verbs. There are a few, but two are very important, make and help. What is the rule that goes with causative verbs? They never take the preposition to in active voice, but the same causative verbs take the preposition to when we use in passive voice. For example, the master made us to wait. This is wrong. The make made is a past form. The master made us to wait. This is active voice, wrong. The master made us wait for 2 hours. Without two, it is right. But same example, I changed to passive voice. We were made to wait by the master. We were made to wait. Here you can use the preposition to. That you have to know. So it's all about, it has to help reform the film industry. At different points of time come events that have the potential to shape the future. If you take the timeline, if you take the history, the developments, sometimes you come across important events, and those events or reports or policies, they act as catalyst for better future or things to happen. Here it talks about the same. At different points of time come events that have the potential to shape the future. Based on these, the future may change, and these catalysts may have the potential. But they may happen, may not happen, that's a different thing. Whether these catalysts fulfill that potential to the fullest extent or not is in the hands of the people in their vortex. It depends. It depends on the people in their vortex and whether it can be achieved fully or not. Question is there. Now it is about the report, the Justice K. Hamer Committee report that studied the issues faced by women in cinema could well be one such catalyst. There are some catalysts. If you look at the timeline at different points, we came across catalysts, and this particular report could be one of those. The Justice K. Hamer Committee report that studied the issues faced by women in cinema or the film industry could well be one such catalyst. Could be one such catalyst. Here it talks about a possibility, but the chances are less. The three-member committee was constituted in 2017 based on a petition. Why the committee was constituted? Why did they do that? Someone files a case, someone files a petition. Based on that, a particular committee is constituted. This sentence talks about that. The three-member committee was constituted in 2017 based on a petition submitted by the Kerala-based Women in Cinema Collective and submitted its report 2 years later. It was constituted and submitted the report 2 years later, but it was released last week. It was released last week. This is past tense passive voice. Several paragraphs redacted means what? Information was edited, whatever was there in the report was edited or removed, redacted, and contains unsurprising. Whatever we know, it's an open secret, casting couch, same thing. So, based on that, unsurprising, and yet, the word yet talks about contrasting idea, and yet, disturbing revelations about the state of affairs in the film industry. Disturbing revelations. The word is reveal. Reveal means to make public. Reveal, disclose, unveil, make public, they all mean the same. Disturbing revelations about the state of affairs in the film industry. This is an important phrase you have to remember. The state of affairs in the film industry. What are those disturbing aspects? Discrimination, exploitation, and sexual harassment of women. These are all disturbing factors. Based on that, the state of affairs, we also use the expression sorry state of affairs. That also you have to remember. The term casting couch hatched in Hollywood. Casting couch hatched in Hollywood means originated over there. Hollywood is a film industry in the USA. The USA, 50 states, of the 50 states, one particular state, California. It is in the state of California, the Hollywood film industry. All English movies are produced, majority. Some are produced in the UK also, but 90% from Hollywood. The term casting couch hatched in Hollywood has become repugnantly accepted, has become present perfect active voice. Repugnantly means unwillingly, disgustingly, and you don't like it, but you had to accept. Repugnantly accepted as a euphemism. Euphemism is an important word, a euphemism, not an, because it begins with a consonantal sound. What exactly does it mean, euphemism? To say something harsh in a nice way. Something is harsh, you say it in a nice way. That is known as euphemism. For example, if I say he died, that sounds very harsh. Instead of that, I say he passed away. This sounds better. That is known as euphemism. Casting couch is a euphemism for sexual favors in exchange for a role in films. We cannot say sexual favors, it doesn't sound good. For that, we say casting couch, euphemism. Conflating it with consensual sexual activity. Consensual means a willing. Casting couch is not consensual because they are forced to, coercion is used, or it is like a situation where you have no choice, or it is something like Hobson's choice. That is different. We cannot equate or merge these two. Consensual sexual activity is different. This is different. It says conflating it with consensual sexual activity makes the industry inherently exploitative. The report deals also with other inequities that disadvantage women in the industry. It talks about casting couch, one problem, but other problems women face in the film industry. The next two sentences talk about those. The report deals also with other inequities that disadvantage women in the industry, including what are those? The lack of essential facilities such as toilets, changing rooms, safe transportation, and accommodation at the shooting spot, which are violative of the right to privacy. All these go with the right to privacy and they're being violated. And discrimination in remuneration. Hero gets a particular amount and heroine gets a different amount altogether. There's some sort of discrimination, remuneration, and a lack of binding contractual agreements. There's no binding contractual agreement, then that is not a good thing. All these are the problems. These affect the range of women. Now, these problems are faced by a range of women in the film industry. Who are those? Actors. You may be surprised. Traditional English, we say actress, actresses, but current English or modern English, we use actor. It could be a male actor, it could be a female actor. Here it talks about female. Actors, standard English, actresses, technicians, makeup artists, dancers, support staff, and particularly so, women lower in the pecking order. Pecking order means lower in the hierarchy. Hierarchy is an important word. Hierarchy means what? If you go to a big company, you have the chairman, the vice president, like that, you have down the line. The whole system is known as hierarchy. So, some people are at the top. We use the term top brass of the company, means the top people. And the lowest rung, also, you have some people. Entire range it lists out. The way ahead is not as murky as the whole that the film industry here Malayalam seems to find itself in. The way ahead means the future is not as murky as a whole that the film industry here Malayalam film industry seems to find itself in. Here there is some sort of positive thinking or some sort of optimism. The government has decided. Now, what is the response? Has decided present perfect active voice. The government has decided to constitute a special investigation team to go into the accusations of harassment. Harass means to trouble someone by asking them to do something or questioning them repeatedly. You can also think of words like intimidation, harassment, and threatening, all are same more or less. Accusations of harassment. While the government would do well to ignore, if the government ignores something, that is good in a way. What is that? Would do well to ignore the committee's recommendations on doing away. Do away with something means not to use that. Discard. And doing away with internal complaints committees for each film project. Each film project, so many complaints, you cannot deal with all of them. That becomes an uphill task. It must act on suggestions that call for, demand for provision of essential facilities. That has to be considered. Other things can be ignored. essential facilities and for structural reforms within the film industry, including professionalizing it. Obviously, major issues they have to focus on and bring about the changes. Nothing will change unless the state gets involved meaningfully in creating an equitable workspace for men and women. Any industry, equitable workspace is important for men and women. In an industry dominated by people with great power and money, more than power, film industry, money plays a major role, who have so far refuted. If you take people in the film industry, so far they have refuted, and so far always takes present perfect tense. Refute means to deny, to say no, to challenge. Refuted the existence of such a power cartel. Power cartel, an important word cartel. Cartel means a group of people controlling a particular industry. We also use words like cartel, mafia, and syndicate. These are all synonyms in a way. Have remained silent. Each of the issues raised must be taken cognizance of. Means they should be aware of each of the issues and acted upon. They have to act upon those. How does it end? As with the Me Too movement, Justice Hema's report has a potential, main idea is being reiterated, has a potential of being a catalyst to enable scores of women to speak up, means express their problems in public. It behoves, it is an obligation, the state to ensure that their complaints are not ignored. The state can't afford to ignore their complaints, or worse, still, used against them. Sometimes what happens, you have a grievance, you have a problem, you complain, taking that into consideration, the management may try to target you. That should not happen. That's what the editorial says. That's all about today's editorial. Let us go to questions. Read the first one and try to answer based on your listening skill and comprehension skill. What was the primary focus of the Justice K. Hema Hema Committee report? Primary focus of the Justice K. Hema Committee report. It is not economic reforms, it is not technological advancements, it is not cultural representation. Issues faced by women in cinema, especially in the Malayalam film industry. What is a casting couch often used as a euphemism for in the film industry? What is it used for in the film industry as a euphemism? The expression casting couch. It is not professional networking, it is not artistic collaboration, it is not contract negotiations. Casting couch means sexual harassment in exchange for roles. They demand sexual favors in exchange for providing the roles. That is what precisely we call casting couch. Which group submitted the petition that led to the formation of the Hema Committee? A particular group submitted the petition. Which group is that? Kerala State Film Development Corporation, Women in Cinema Collective, Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, Indian Film Association. No, it is B. What is B here? Women in Cinema Collective. What issues, apart from sexual harassment, were highlighted in the report concerning women in the Malayalam film industry? The editorial says the report talks about casting couch. Besides that, other problems being faced by women in the film industry, especially Malayalam film industry. What are those problems? Lack of funding? No. Lack of essential facilities, discrimination in remuneration, and lack of binding contracts. These are also problems. Poor quality of scripts, inadequate marketing, not at all relevant. Answer is B. What potential impact does the editorial suggest the Hema Committee report could have, similar to a past movement? It starts with the idea catalyst. The report has a potential to be a catalyst to bring about the positive change in the near future. But what impact does the editorial suggest? Economic growth? No. Establishing stricter censorship? No. catalyzing a movement like Me Too, enabling more women to speak up. Clearly mentioned. Increasing international collaborations not relevant. Now we have mini mocks error location. First one, read and tell me where the error is. Some of the T is missing here. Some of the world's largest water bodies are drying up, thus threatening the livelihood of millions. Here we have to use a possessive case. How do we express possession in English? By using the apostrophe and the letter S. Based on that, you have to say world apostrophe S, world's largest water bodies. And this question is based on your knowledge related to possessive case. Related to what? Possessive case. How do we express possession in English? By using an apostrophe and the letter S. World's largest water bodies. According to economists, not more than 5% of education loans taken by students are overdue. Whenever you read a question, for sure you have to know what the subject is, what the object is, what the phrases are, what the clauses are. Only then you can spot the error. Here, according to economists, nothing wrong, not more than 5%. Here, 5%, this is a subject. After that, we have a phrase of education loans taken by students are overdue. Actually, it should have been educational loans taken by students. If you put all these words in brackets, 5% is overdue. We don't say 5% are. What do we say? 5% is overdue. The two candidates share a reputation for competency as well as for good communication skills. This question is based on redundancy. What does it mean? Unnecessary use of words. Here the two candidates share a reputation for what? For competency as well as good communication skills. We don't have to use the preposition for two times. That is redundancy. They share the reputation for two things. One is competency as well as communication skills. I have brought five important phrasal verbs. Try to get all the five correct. Yield up. The word yield has two or three meanings. One, yield goes with agriculture. There we mean produce. But yield has a negative connotation. It means to surrender. To surrender, for that, there is one important phrasal verb we use give in. Give up means to quit. Give in means to surrender. Very good. But here, yield up, it's a phrasal verb. Means what? To finally allow people to see something that has been hidden. Answer is D. Win through. To finally succeed after trying hard to achieve something. An easy one. Vouch for means say someone or something is good. I vouch for him means you are telling he is good. Something is true or good because you have evidence for it. And twitter away. Twitter continuously keep making small noises. B, an easy one. Swear by. To name somebody or something to show that you are making a serious promise. I swear by someone. Usually we say that. What is the correct order? Murli, very good. D, E, A, B, C. Wonderful. Let us go to the words we got last week. I hope you guys remember the words. Try to get all the 10 correct, 9 correct. Revive means what? Revival, revive, rejuvenate means to bring back the old glory or the old standards, revival of something. Part of speech verb. Flammable material, that means adjective. You can use a flammable, you can also use inflammable. Both mean the same. You got to be careful. Something that catches fire within no time. Lax means a lenient. There's also adjective. Someone is not very strict. Lax management means not very strict, rather lenient. And abysmal, two meanings. One goes with the depths of the ocean, the other one, something very bad, not at all acceptable. Abysmal performance or standards. There's also adjective. Exemption, noun, means you don't have to follow what others follow. Imagine there are rules and regulations everyone has to follow except a few, and those have the exemption. That's what we say. Compliance takes the preposition with, comply with, compliance noun. Comply is a verb form, means to follow the rules and regulations, to adhere to stick to. Rules and regulations. Loopholes, noun. The gaps in law. There are some gaps or ambiguities in law, and some people try to take advantage of that. Then we say the loopholes in the law have been exploited. Swift can be, it is an adjective. Swift means what? Quick, very fast, within no time, swift movement. Hmm. Errors or gaps. Punitive measures, that is also an adjective. Related to punishment, penalties, punitive measures. You have to remember the combinations as well. That means related to punishment. Rapid, fast, quick. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. And we'll provide the PDF after the session. Join the Telegram group and try to work. Today, the editorial, so many important words are there we have got for the first time. So, whenever you come across an editorial that is based on effective vocabulary and you have a lot of words to learn, do spend some time, make your own examples, use mnemonics, form some sort of association. That will help in the long run. After the session, you don't do anything. 1 or 2 days, you forget all these words. That is not advisable. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.